House Oversight Chair, Congressman James Comer. Congressman, it's good to see you again. Congressman, do we have it correct that you're talking to House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and House Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan and Congressman Brian Stile to discuss the next steps into your congressional inquiry into DA Bragg? He says that would be interference.
Well, we would make a strong argument that he's interfered in an area where he has no business, and that would be federal campaign election laws. Look, from part of our work on the Oversight Committee, we've been studying this crime issue and trying to determine the sources and provide solutions to lowering the crime rates. And one of the problems is we have prosecutors who aren't doing their job. They're not prosecuting the real criminals on the street. And, you know, Bragg is the poster child for what's wrong with soft on crime prosecutors and wasting their time and wasting our tax dollars trying to advance an ideological narrative or their own political agenda. So we're going to talk about it Friday and try to figure out where to go from here. But I can tell you, Liz, from looking at the charges and just from listening to even my most Democrat friends that absolutely despise Donald Trump, that have a pretty good understanding of the law, you know, this is a joke. This whole case is a joke. So we're going to talk about it Friday. Okay. You know, what steps to move forward if it's even worth the trouble now that you see the charges. And I mean, it's probably going to be dismissed at some point. This was all a political stunt.
Well, let's talk about that because, you know, the political stunt. You know, the case prosecutors say it's going to fall apart. There's enough reasonable doubt. The statute of limitations are saying, you know, that statute of limitations already expired on the underlying misdemeanor. They didn't spell out what exactly they want to convict Trump for in the federal campaign violation. Plus, Trump made business ledger entries in 2017, but to win an election in 2016. And so for the charges to be felonies, DA Bragg needs a second crime. What is it?
I have no idea. I mean, we have some pretty sharp counsels on the Oversight Committee. We have, you know, I know a lot of very intelligent lawyers that are skilled in all sorts of law. And many of them don't like Trump, to be honest with you, Liz. But they're embarrassed by this because they feel like if you're going to get Trump, it has to be the Department of Justice. And it needs to be something that the statute of limitations hasn't expired. There needs to be no question what level of prosecutor should be prosecuting any case against Trump. So all the boxes go unchecked with respect to this case ever amounting to anything.
Yeah, you know, the reasonable doubt also reports Trump is already saying he paid the money to protect his marriage. That could be, you know, reasonable doubt there. That's how a jury decided not to convict former Senator John Edwards. John Edwards made that claim too. But, you know, the overkill part of it, 34 counts related to 11 transactions. You know, some would say, well, Trump could argue these 11 were recurring fees perhaps paid as a retainer. We understand falsifying business records, but what's the proof of that? We've got Michael Cohen saying it.
There's no proof. And John Edwards got the money to pay that woman from the heir to the Energizer battery fortune. They call it bunny money. And that was a campaign finance violation, I would assume. Donald Trump used his own money. So, you know, the whole argument that it's a federal campaign finance violation is a joke.
Yeah, DA Bragg says he does not have to spell out what the underlying felony is. Let's watch DA Bragg and watch the media reaction on this. CBS, ABC, CNN saying this case will likely fall apart. Watch.
But the indictment does not specifically say what those crimes were.
Right. So let me say as an initial matter that the indictment doesn't specify that because the law does not so require. The first is New York State election law, which makes it a crime to conspire to promote a candidacy by unlawful means. I also noted the federal election law cap on contribution limits.
Commentators across the spectrum are saying, boy, there's really not much in here, raises all kinds of questions about the legal theory behind this case.
Speaking as someone who very strongly does not want Donald Trump to get the Republican presidential nomination, I'm extraordinarily distressed by this document. I think this is even weaker than I feared it would be.
We've kind of whipped ourselves up over the last week about, you know, if they're bringing this case, it must be more than what we know is inside. And we looked inside today and say, oh, it's just the same stuff we already knew. So what changed? You know, it's a 7-year-old case.
Congressman, critics are saying this is Banana Republic stuff. there could be also constitutional due process problems here, not spelling out for former President Trump what the underlying criminal felony was.
It's a joke. This was a political stunt. The media was so excited about the prospect of seeing Donald Trump in handcuffs, being fingerprinted, having a mugshot, that they never really thought about the possibility that this was a political stunt all along. Now that the dust is settled, they see this as a political stunt. It's going nowhere. It was a complete and utter waste of time and, more importantly, tax dollars. And I think that the media is going to turn on Bragg pretty quickly.
Chairman Comer, thanks for joining us. It's good to see you tonight.